We're live. Oh, we're live.
Ooh.
Oh, we're live. Come check us out live. I am so discombobulated today, but we're going to do it anyway. What's up, everybody? You are about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet podcast with Canna Queen. That's me. And MJ, that's her. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts, their guests, or their subsidiaries. Please note, we are not medical physicians, and any information that we share is solely based on our own knowledge and research. Thanks for rolling up and showing up, and we hope you enjoy the show. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
We have a show
I am
today. It's
trying.
Monday.
We have a show today. My makeup probably. You know what? I don't even care. I'm gonna take them off. My makeup probably doesn't look amazing, but who cares? I just got my whole situation done, and I've been working all day, uh, out on the road, as it were. So I just got back, and here we are, live,
Here we are. We're live.
live.
We made it.
We made it. I made it. You made it. I don't know if I'm frozen or you're frozen. I don't know. You're back though.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
I can hear you. Cool. So, hey, I'm in Durango.
I'm in Vail. Yay.
So I've been traveling. I've been on the road, and I'm going back tomorrow after some deliveries and stuff. But yeah, I just had, when I'm in Durango, I have to like really like do the hustle. I have to like really run the game. So normally on Mondays I spend the day putting the show together, but today I had to be like out on the road because I'm only here for a limited amount of time. So I have to make the best of it. And so I just got back. So I appreciate that you put all the show together today. Because
I can do things too.
yeah, I know you can, but I was like, I appreciate the help on that. And normally I don't have to leave my house on Monday
Makes
because
dream work.
yeah, and normally I don't have to leave my house on Monday because that's what we do. We're doing the show.
Yeah.
Not today. Today I had to be out early. I don't even have anything rolled up right now. And honestly,
Girl.
okay, so I want to just, this isn't on the show notes necessarily, but I want to talk about a little bit how I feel right now because I am supremely stoned right now. And the I got these pre-rolled hemp blunts, and I smoked one, and I feel great. And this is my point, not to just tell you that I feel great, but to tell you that I feel great and that the THC percentage on this particular flower was actually lower. It was like 15 or something percent. And I said, well, fuck it, I'm gonna buy them anyway.
But
Give them a try.
it's a hemp. It was a hemp derived. It
It's
was a
a
hemp.
hemp derived blunt roll,
Okay.
and I feel great. I feel great. So I'm just saying terpenes matter, and it's not just about your THC content, it's about everything.
It doesn't. Yeah.
So
No. I mean, I've definitely had some super high THC content that has knocked me the fuck out, and
yeah,
it was because of everything else that was incorporated in it. So, um, it's crazy,
yeah,
that as far as we've come, we're still way behind. and
we
in
are.
our, or we're stepping backwards. The industry, at least, is,
Yeah.
um,
I just think we need to pay
so
more attention to more. I think we need to pay attention to more than just THC.
yeah, no, it's a whole plant.
As
It's a
we always
whole,
advocate.
yeah, as we always,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it is. It's a whole ass plant, and that's why, again, the industry has become about capitalism and money, whereas it started out as community, and we have these reasons that we use it, right, and why it's been underground, or
Right.
and honestly, if the government and things keep going that way, then that's what will happen. It will just go. It's not like it can't exist. It's not like it's not like it ever stopped. Let's just say that, people, you
Yeah.
know, um, and that's the thing, is like, as we overregulate and overtax that we always talk about, people, patients, the average human being can't pay to some dispensary prices in some places,
Yeah.
and we
It's
have to look
expensive.
at this. Yeah, and then we have to look at it as, okay, what if they do legalize it federally? It wipes out the tourism factor, in the sense of, ooh, I'm gonna go, and it becomes an everyday commodity, right? Or
Yeah.
and so what does that do for our industries that have thrived on it being illegal in other states, or you know I don't know. It's a whole. I think it's a whole nother show. But
Yeah.
that was
Yeah. For
something.
sure.
We we're kind of actually, we're kind of jumping out of order. But I want to talk about what's going on in Missouri, um, with their
Well,
new
before we get
hemp
into
going
that,
on. Yeah, let's.
yeah, before we get into that, let's first say thank you to our sponsors, which are us. We're our sponsors. Queen Kitty Seltzer is one of our sponsors. You can find our information at solo.co/Queen Kitty Seltzer. You can also check out our website, www.queenkittyseltzer.com, to check out and purchase cans and merch on the website. Queen Kitty Seltzer's low dose CBD seltzer, 10 milligrams per can. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. It's going to taste like water because that's what water is supposed to taste like. It has no yak in the back, and the flavors are derived from botanical and organic terpenes, plants, and the CBD is organically grown hemp. So there's a little piece of information on each can and a guarantee of no yak in the back. That means you're not going to get that weird metallic taste on the back of your tongue. So check us out, solo.co/Queen Kitty Seltzer, www.queenkittyseltzer.com. We're also sponsored by CQ LLC, Cannabis Compliance and Education, www.cq-llc.com. We are a certified RVT provider in the state of Colorado. If you need responsible vendor training for your staff, give us a holler, customer service, cqllc@gmail.com, or 970-426-5985. And obviously, the Canvas Closet podcast, you can find us on all of our platforms, solo.to/Canvas Closet 420, Canvas Closet 420 at Gmail to reach out to us. Come hang out with us on Discord and catch us later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So what's going on in Missouri with this hemp bill thing? With this hemp, with this hemp thing?
I should probably pull up that whole um let me pull up the Facebook. But while I'm doing that, if we want to go, we do have some Black history. I did some Black history research and some women's history. That's different than what we've got going on before. It's actually covering the women of Iran.
You just hit enter there. Turn so. Okay.
What?
I got it.
Are you talking to me?
I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, you can just hit enter and it'll light it up blue. So yeah, while you're pulling up that article about hemp sales in Missouri, we have 12 significant Black history facts that everyone should know. So
some of those we know, and then some of them are new.
Yeah, some of them we've talked about, and some of them are not. So where do we want to start? We've talked about the history of Black History Month and why it's celebrated when it's celebrated. Celebrating the important people and events and achievements related to people of Africa diaspora is not new. Back in 1926, historian and author Carter G. Woodson created Negro History Week in conjunction with his work with the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. Woodson chose the second week of February for the annual observance, as it coincided with the birthdays of both Frederick Douglass, February 14th, and Abraham Lincoln, February 12th. Woodson understood the innate need for African Americans to know their own varied and colorful history beyond the centuries of forced servitude, and he also knew people who were not of African descent needed to know how much stronger and better the country is because of the efforts of many African Americans. According to Wikipedia, if a race has no history, it has no worthwhile tradition, it becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated. The American Indian left no continuous record. He did not appreciate the value of tradition. And where is he today? Like, who wrote this?
Yeah, I don't know, but that's Wikipedia. So
that's Wikipedia. Yeah, let's just skip over that. Who wrote that? That's crazy. The reason,
up.
like,
I'm
glad that they wrote that though, because that gives us a chance to say that is because Native Americans in this country were actually sent to, like, children were taken from their parents, sent to boarding schools. Their traditions were taken from them. I was actually just talking to my hairstylist about this. And their language was taken from them. They were forced to assimilate into what is now, like, we would call American culture, but the traditional, like, European culture that was stealing their resources, their land, their children, their traditions, their culture. So that's why.
Literally stomping out, telling them they couldn't exist. That's why there's no continuous record, you asshole.
This is why you can't trust Wikipedia too. And actually there is not as much record as we would like, but there are records because people did keep them secretly of those. Otherwise we wouldn't know as much, because everything in history in America is whitewashed. Like, literally, if you are going to public school and you're learning about something historical, it's all very whitewashed. It's all very it's actually pretty gross. And some of it's completely left out. A lot of it is completely left out, actually.
Right, or change so that it's not so bad, and whitewashing, like you said.
Well, that's what they said. That's like when we talk about, like, a lot of people did not know that there were many Black communities that were basically bombed and destroyed. People were displaced from their homes. People were hurt and killed in this, and it was because it was, you know, segregation was happening. People couldn't go to white dentists or any, you know, they couldn't get services that they needed from white people. So they had, you know, of course, educated people within their community who also could do these things and set up businesses in their own communities and set up their own whole towns. And they were actually doing quite better than a lot of white towns and a lot of white people, and white people didn't like that. And that's the real of it. That's the Canna Queen notes of it. Like, you know how they had Cliff's notes, the Canna Queen notes of it. That's the shortened version, but that's basically what happened. And white people destroyed something once again.
Can I? Sorry, I keep trying to. Reservoirs and lakes that exist in your states were built over Black towns. Lake Dillon, yes, here in Colorado. Yeah. There's a whole list of communities that existed that are now government land.
300 people were killed, nearly 300 people were killed in Black Wall Street's bombings. Like, yeah. And that's not, and that's the most
1921. That was, y'all. Yeah. 1921.
That's the most well known. There's it happens so many times, so many more times than once. I promise you.
I saw someone post today. There's a dispensary for sale in Tulsa. Just FYI, just since we're talking about Tulsa.
If anybody wants to go buy a dispensary in Tulsa. Also, we were just talking about this recently, but Central Park also
is also. Yep. So I mean, again, I grew up in Oklahoma. I grew up right outside of Tulsa. And did not know about Black Wall Street until
you're a full-grown adult.
Yes, and yeah,
because they keep that history from us.
Yeah, that history. Yes, exactly. And we were in my school, my area. We did have education on Native Americans, and you know, so the respect and the that I have for, and the interest in their culture is, you know, like I'm drawn to it, and to, you know, advocate for it. So keep going.
I didn't know this. The first Black woman ran for president in 1972 and was almost assassinated 3 times.
Yeah, this is when I was like, what? This is what drew me to the article, because it came up first. And yeah,
that's crazy. First, okay, so
to honor, to do a lot of things. She's the first Black woman to do a lot of things.
When we read about these things, I always think I understand why white people are afraid. Like, I get it, because your own mediocrity is standing out when we talk about people of color in this country and in the world. In the world.
Right.
And that's bothersome. It is to be so mediocre. But maybe we just follow their lead and follow the example instead of being jealous,
stealing from them. Yeah, being jealous, stealing from it, ruining it, and then being like, what the fuck? Why is it so messed up? And
it's messed up because so she Shirley Chisholm has the honor of being the first Black woman to do a lot of things. She's the first Black woman elected to U.S. Congress. She was the first Black woman member of a Congressional Rules Committee. She even was a founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional Women's Caucus, and she was also the first Black woman to run for president. She garnered 10% of the vote at the Democratic National Convention in 1972, and though she failed to win the nomination, she was forced to survive 3 assassination attempts during that presidential run. Some say Her bid laid the groundwork for future presidential bids by women. Hold.
And let's do the math.
They were like 1972, a woman runs for president, and they're like, other women can run for president like a few decades later because that was too much for us. We can't, like many
they tried
decades
to
later.
kill her.
Yeah.
Women were like,
Yeah. It's just so crazy that we're not allowed to have anything.
But yeah, so 50 years later, we are still, everyone, not sure. Let's give it a try because so far,
Men have fucked it up.
Men have started the decline of where, I wish I had saved this one and or sent it to you, but it was this guy talking about time when we talk about time blocks, and he was talking about how sections and they are called certain things and that we go through these phases, and there's 4 phases, and then he breaks it down, and he even broke it down into where America is, as a country, that are it starts with I think like revolution, and then this, and then this, and then crisis, and so it moves you through these periods of, when we have, or, even if we just look at it in an economic way. But it was interesting and then it cut off because I was like, it was just a TikTok, so it only showed X amount of the time, and I was in the middle of something, so I was like listening and interested, but also didn't save it and didn't send it, and now I can't even. But that's where we are right now. He said we're in a period of crisis now. We're in that part where we had our our age of age of Aquarius, I think, is even kind of brought into it, and so we've got to start changing our perspective. We're beyond, we got to make it out of the crisis now,
Right.
and into the next understanding. So
that is absolutely true. We're fighting for our lives right now. We are in a crisis space,
and it's not. And
in my face.
I highly, we've talked about the whole TikTok thing and it being banned and this and that, but I feel like that the government's not going to do that, because then they can't divide us. They can't. There's not a medium or where they're we can't be talking to or whatever. I know there's other platforms, but when we talk about accessibility, and
I think there's a TikToker now, and I haven't seen this personally, I've just heard about it, where they're following the money. So they're seeing where these senators are putting their money and what stocks they're buying and everything, and then they're purchasing the same stocks. Like, what's good for you is good for us. And like going in and making the same purchases to kind of like throw a wrench into everything. So I mean, but just follow the money and see why they're talking about banning TikTok, but not holding other social media platforms to the same standards that they're holding TikTok to.
And is it, and is it truly the whole, because it's owned, it originates out of China and they want an American owner or entity or whatnot?
I don't think so. I think that's a false argument.
Okay.
I think they're just saying that, first of all, they don't understand the platform that they're talking about. So that's for starters. So every argument that they made on the brief times that I was watching these hearings, they really didn't make any sense because they didn't really know what they were talking about, as far as like social media is concerned. They have no idea how it works. They have no idea anything about it. So it's really about, where's the money coming from? Who's lining their pockets? Why are we having this conversation? And also, what are they trying to distract us from right now?
Right. And that's the ultimate question. It's because, they're learning.
Yeah. What are we supposed to be looking away from right now? Like, that we should really be checking out. So, maybe if we could just have some woman leadership, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
we can't pick and choose that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we get a woman and then it's like crazy woman, like fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene or some shit like that, we'll
Be
be like,
like,
what?
what's
That's
her
not the
sign?
example. It's not the example we were looking for, right?
And but no, we know there is proof of women leaders that have brought their countries out of and into, different periods that have improved their situations. So um America's just one big gaslighting ball of fun.
Yeah, and I think too, I want to say too that part of the TikTok thing is too, and I don't know if they're smart enough to reach into this, so maybe some Gen Z told them this or something, but we can see on TikTok, we can see live coverage of what's going on in other countries when there's discourse and how they handle it as citizens. And I think, that our leadership doesn't want us to see that, because that's an inspiration
Right.
for what we should do. So
Yeah.
I
I think too, it also covers aspects of politics that you don't see every day, that isn't televised on the news channels and on regular TV. I saw and I don't know what they call him now. I just to call him a TikToker, but then I feel like that's a not fun name either.
are you
Anyway,
saying an influencer? I don't know.
but I'm like, do they like that term? Anyway, so and he was talking about about oil, contracts being done and different deals that are going on, that just again what happens to the dollar, the finances, the and how it changes when countries align and disalign.
Right.
And
well, you're seeing it happen right now. It's happening right now. If you guys aren't paying attention to the news, that is absolutely what's happening right now, is that countries are aligning, not with the US when it comes to oil right now. So pay attention with this. It's really going to affect our currency and our how our dollar is rated.
right.
And so, speaking of TikTok and what it shows us before the news even talks about it, this is one of the links that you have under women's history. And it's a list of women and girls killed by Iranian security forces during there's an Iranian uprising right now.
Started
And women,
last year, 2022.
yeah, September 16th, 2022. Women are leading this revolution. There was a young Kurdish woman, Masa, I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, Masa Amini, in the custody of the morality police or guidance patrols. So they're the ones that tell you, that you have to like wear a scarf over your head, or like you have to stay within the state's governed morality, right? The NCRI Women's Committee publishes a list of women and girls who have lost the fight for freedom. So there's a published list of 647 protesters who have laid down their lives for Iran's freedom until day 140. The Iranian regime security forces and IRGC have killed at least 750 persons during Iranian protests. An estimated 30,000 young men and women have been arrested during the uprising and detained under inhumane conditions in overcrowded prisons. So far executed 4 protesters. We're going to share this link so you guys can see all of this information, because we could spend all day reading this list. But
Sister brought this to my attention. She actually has a friend, an Iranian girlfriend who has been sharing the information, and they're getting shadow banned. The information isn't being spread; it's not being seen. It's not being talked about. So
Um, uh, White women share this information. Make sure you share it because people of color get shadow banned a lot, often, very often, for sharing their life experience, what's going on in their communities, real world things that, again, we aren't meant to see because that, you know, that could cause some kind of uprising ourselves, which it damn well should. But America can't get it together to agree on like a pizza topping. So, but we will share this. Actually, I'll go ahead and share this in the comments too if you guys want to save that link.
yeah, it'll be
We'll
in
go
the
ahead
show notes now that you can
and
copy
it
and
is,
paste
yeah,
again.
yeah. I'll make sure it's in the show notes as well.
Um,
So definitely check out that article. Give some time and energy to reading those names, and share because that's really important that it gets out, and that's like our contribution, honestly. Not to go in and take over something, but to be of service where necessary. And so people listen to white women, and this is a thing. So, something I was telling you the other day that I've been trying to really be cognizant of. I kind of wanted to talk about this for a minute, but I never put it in the show notes, and I always forget about it. But well, no, we did talk about it. We did talk about it on the show actually the other day. But um, the thing I've been trying to really do cognizantly is like think about it from my point of view and my experience, which is obviously the very first thought. That's how I view the world, right? But then to like take a step back and say, what would have happened in the situation if I wasn't a white woman, you know? And how would somebody else have experienced the situation? We did talk about, I remember talking about my friend, asking for, a police officer to identify themselves. And like, really, that's like a privilege to be able to do that. If there's not a situation happening in your neighborhood where they told you to do that, if you just do it because you got pulled over, and maybe you do have an experience, or maybe you've read about these things or whatever, and you just want to make sure that you're safe, or you have a gut feeling, as it's a privilege to be able to just say, hey, can you identify yourself to a police officer?
right.
Because they get so fucking mad if a black man or a black woman asks them why they were pulled over. Like, why are you pulling me over? And then they don't have like a real reason.
Yeah. I don't even think they ask anymore because of the repercussion of just saying
Yeah. Now
anything other
all of a
than
sudden you're asked to get out of the car, and they're like hovering their hand over their weapons, and it's just like, what, like, why? Anyways,
yes. Why are
I'm
I thought that
hydrating
they
a
were
lot right now.
de-escalate the situation, not
You're
escalate, and
taught, like,
that's
honestly, you're supposed to be taught to de-escalate. I don't know what the hell's happening now, but I did go to when I was in the military, I was military police, and when I first got in the military, it wasn't all like force protection. It was like we were doing the job of police officers, but like we were doing it on base or with service members. Um, and so we were taught to do those things, and one of the real um one of the main lessons that we were taught was like to be able to de-escalate before you have to bother with any of your weapons or any type of hand-to-hand anything. You want to
right.
try to like bring it down to a level where we could just have a conversation and it's good to go. But you don't see that happening. Anytime you see these videos, you don't see it happening. And we're not going to post the videos of cops doing their job because that's what they're supposed to fucking do. But maybe they need to see an example of themselves doing their job. But honestly, we only see them doing their job properly when they're interacting with white people. Not only, but majority.
Right. Right.
So
I do see the video community or with the kids, and it's like,
yeah,
but then these kids grow up and then you're assholes to them.
yeah.
What's the give? So, um, let's see.
Um,
Missouri.
yeah, let's talk about Missouri. What's going on in Missouri?
So it's House Bill 1328, is what is being discussed. And oh, what is that? That's not the page. There it is. Okay. So this was introduced by Representative Gregory. It's to amend Chapter 195 RSMO by adding thereto one new section relating to the regulation of certain intoxicating products. Any intoxicating product sold in the state containing THC or any other intoxicating cannabinoid in any form and from any source shall be subject to the regulation promulgated by the Department of Health and Senior Services under Article Roman numerals. I cannot do that right now, of the Constitution of Missouri, and treated as marijuana under such regulations. Sold only by dispensaries licensed by the Department of Health and Senior Services and under the regulations described in Subdivision 1. So that was Subdivision 2. And 2, no facility licensed under the regulations described in subsection 1 of this section or any other facility shall manufacture or sell any product that contains synthetic cannabinoids or cannabimetric agents, as found as described in 21 USC section 812 paragraphs and subdivisions.
Okay. So, okay. I don't have that article at my fingertips, but are they just concerned about synthetic cannabinoids, or are they concerned about are they saying everybody, no
They're
matter
saying
what?
anything derived from any plant or any source. This is, I mean, so I'm looking at the legalese of it, or the legal. But it's basically saying that you would not be able, like, so CBD stores wouldn't be able to sell it, gas stations wouldn't be able to sell it, farmers markets wouldn't be able to sell it.
You would have to sell it
Local
under a
producers.
regulated dispensary.
Yes,
And
it
it
would
could,
have to be
and
a
they would
licensed facility.
they would put a ban on synthetic cannabinoids.
And
most
altogether,
likely.
yes. And then yes, and then that's that second part, that no facility licensed under the regulations or any other facility shall manufacture or sell any product that contains synthetic cannabinoids, as stated. And so,
Y'all know I can't be mad about the second part of it, but the first part of it is a bit problematic.
and then there's this discussion of caregivers and so everyone's like, get a caregiver, and I think Christina asked, what are caregivers offering right now? What are you seeing? And then some people commented, more than dispensary prices, and some were great, some were not. So I think it depended on the area.
Yes, some are very much more than
availability of
pricing.
caregiver, whether it was just, we're going to hand you a bag of green, or if we're going to actually provide you products that are processed and made into things. And so it's not just so easy as like, be a caregiver.
Right. Well, also that, like, if they're putting restrictions on where you can purchase these things, then they're going to put restrictions on what caregivers can provide as well. They're going to do that.
This starts to snowball, y'all. And
let me just, so that I don't know how long this. Oh, that's 20 minutes. We can't do that. But I did not get a chance to catch that live about this. But let's learn a little bit more about what's going on with that and kind of keep up with it for sure. A, because it's
Yeah.
going to affect our business and the way we do business, but also B, it's going to affect the way Missourians are able to do business, to be a patient in the state. Some people use strictly CBD products and get them from hemp derived products, and that's perfectly great for them, and that's what they use. I have my own opinions on synthetics. I'm not a fan. But yeah, just I don't know. It puts limitations on
Um,
the
and it
patient,
drives
the
your
caregiver.
dollars out of out of your local economy. It
Sure.
drives okay, people are going to buy it online now from a
Yep.
company from somewhere else,
Yes.
and yeah, Christina's video, the first part of it was talking about this, and the second was more about the community and the events that are going on this summer. But we should definitely reach out to her and see if she wants to come on and have a chat.
Come and do a little, snippety snip about this, and see what's happening and
Yeah.
how Missourians should handle this, should protest against this, or
Yeah, I
whatever
would like
the case.
to see more information about when this is going up for discussion. They're saying
Yeah,
call your representatives. Maybe we can get the representatives' information and put that out there. So, but definitely you can Google it.
for sure.
People.
We'll get some more information. We'll bring Christina on. Well, she's usually happy to come on as long as she doesn't have a conflict. So
Yeah,
um
maybe even when that's end of the month, but
so I wanted to go ahead and switch gears a little bit and jump right into today's topic. And there's a couple of reasons why this topic popped into my brain. So happy Easter, everybody, by the way. Um,
Easter.
and there's a couple of reasons why this popped into my brain. And I was just like, let's talk about it. And the links and the research that you have on here are great. So first, the first thing that happened was that I was at the gas station and I was purchasing 2 bags of ice. And I was just standing in line. I didn't have anything in my hands because it was ice. I was just gonna grab it on the way out. So I'm standing there and there's a guy and he's next in line. He walks up to the register and he was, being real, jovial, I guess. First of all, he lets his underage child pick out 2 lottery tickets and then they just hand them to him. So I'm just like, okay, well, we don't care about laws, but who cares about that? It's just a scratcher. It's not a big deal. So I'm like, whatever. But I think that he's like kind of feeling some sort of way about not following the law because he's like making kind of a scene of it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody in line needs to know what's going on and be cool with it.
Right. Draw
Or maybe
attention, but
acting like,
also like
yeah,
accept.
can I get a rise out of somebody? Right?
Mm.
Whatever. Nobody cared. Like nobody cared. And then he says to the lady whose name was Kathy, shout out to Kathy for just being like, whatever, dude. He looks at her, he's like, Happy Easter, Kathy. Can we still say that? Can we still say Happy Easter? And I just go, Jesus Christ. I just say it. And she's all, you can say it, it's fine. Yes, Happy Easter to you too, whatever.
Yes.
Like, and all I could think in those moments was like, literally, dude, nobody has ever stopped you from being able to celebrate your holiday. Nobody has ever
No.
stopped you from
No,
being
they've
able to do
asked you to
that.
respect other people's holidays
That.
or
So,
acknowledge other people's holidays.
right. And that's the biggest problem. That's too hard. So then right after that happened, I was on the road and I'm talking to my husband and he says that Target was closed, I guess because it's Easter Sunday. And I was like, imagine if this country really was a country with freedom of religion. And like, how would we really handle that? Like, if there was freedom of religion in this country, how would we really respond to that? And if we closed stores on every major holiday for the religion celebrated in this country, there would never be a store open in this country. Capitalism would die.
Maybe that. No.
I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe religion is the key. I don't.
We were talking earlier. I mentioned the difference between capitalism and commerce earlier.
Yes.
One of my friends was posting about the difference between being capitalistic and being because someone was being like, "You're a capitalist," and he's like, "No, I'm working in commerce. Yeah, I'm selling my what I do to you. If you don't want it, you don't have to." But in exchange for that, I live my life. I get money. You buy my book, I take your money.
Right, exactly.
And then I turn around and I put it back into my community, and I give back. And it's like, anyway, I pulled up there's an interfaith calendar. There's actually a website, diversityresources.com, and it
diversityresources.com.
And they have an interfaith calendar each year. They put it together because not everyone's calendar or holiday calendar runs on the Gregorian calendar. Mm-hmm. And so their days will shift. It wouldn't be just December 25th every single Christmas. It would be whatever.
Well, first of all, it wouldn't be Christmas at all.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
it wouldn't be December 25th at all.
They talk about spring being the actual Christmas time, but it was changed because when we talk about Easter too, we'll get into that in just a second. So, but I was looking at it, and just in let's see, outside of February, let's see, in March 6th to 7th, there's Purim. March 8th, there's Holi, which is the Hindu festival that celebrates spring, love, and new life. March 8th to 10th, there's the Hola Mahalla, a 3-day festival in which Sikhs enjoy communal meals, religious song, prayer, and martial arts performances. March 19th, there's St. Joseph's Feast Day. This day celebrates Jesus' surrogate father and Mary's husband. There's Ostara.
Nothing would be open.
March 21st. I know, like March 21st, there's Ostara, the Wiccan holiday, one of the 8 Sabbats. It celebrates the spring equinox. March 20th, Nowruz, the Persian and Baha'i New Year, which is the vernal equinox. Lots of things going on the third week of March. Ramadan.
We just had Passover, Ramadan, like during the Christmas holidays. Literally, if we just celebrated like what we would call major holidays or whatever. So we got Hanukkah, we got Christmas, and we got Kwanzaa right in a row. We just have everything closed for 2 weeks. If we respected or treated other people's religious ceremonies and religious beliefs and traditions the way that we cater to Christians for these things.
My sister asked what the show was going to be about today, and we were talking about it, and what did she say? She was just talking about when the whole religious freedom, leaving England to come to America, you got either kicked out or left or however you want to look at it, to come to a country so that you could practice your religious freedom, but then you want to take away and hammer it into everybody else.
Yes. So
the crusades and the things in the name of your God. And
they did to natives what was being done to them in their country. Religious persecution.
You're not doing it right. You're not doing it the way we want to do it. And so therefore, but as I was doing the research for this also, which is, I just did the Google thing, and I was like, what are the main Christian religions, and it went into a tailspin of 3 of this and 6 of this and 10 of this, but all of these are broken because we didn't agree on Christ following. We wanted to see it this way, we wanted to do it this way, and we're going to do it this way. And so now there's these several sects or denominations.
They call themselves denominations that they would not want to be called sects.
Right.
They would not want to be called that.
No, because it's too close. And also going into when we're looking at these holidays and the Christians and the pagans, you can't do that. But then we're going to take your things and we're going to appropriate them and turn them into our celebrations and say that we created them.
What is her name? Jasmine's Garden 21, I think, on TikTok, that had that whole thing about it, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. I think her name is Jasmine's Garden, and where she's like, first of all, don't challenge people who are practicing witchcraft or Wiccan or pagan religions on Christianity. Don't do that. You will lose. They know your Bible better than you know your Bible.
They know your
1,000%.
Right. They know, yes. They know your roots and your history more than you do.
Mm-hmm. Because their ancestors were persecuted by you, and they want to know why. And they were forced to practice your religion too.
Right. Steal the things we want, but not the whole thing.
Right.
People, crystals are witchcraft, but God created these minerals, this earth, right? And anything that God created is good.
Good.
So,
according to,
how is me giving homage to my universe with things that were created by my universe wrong?
Right. Well, yeah. Well, I think part of that conversation is the thievery of it all. When we look at Christian holidays and Christian martyrs and religious figures, then we see a lot of similarities in paganism, especially, but also in other religions as well that came way before Christianity even showed up.
Right. Yes.
I think you said that, right? You were like, they pick and choose what parts of those things that they wanted to keep.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
And that's what cultural appropriation is, everybody. If you're still unclear about what appropriation is, it's that. To put it even on a more simplified level, Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day is celebrated more heavily in America than it is in their respective countries. St. Patrick's was actually driving out the pagans. There were no snakes in Ireland, y'all. Or Scotland, was it? Yeah. And so that's actually what you're celebrating there. But it's about beer and the leprechaun now and good luck and getting drunk.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually in September, I think is what the
And certainly you're not basing your celebration in their traditions of independence either, even if it were Independence Day. It's like
right. And so again, taking a culture's parts of it and making it your holiday. And dressing up in things that you think are Mexican garb, but are again just parts of it.
Pieces that you took from the without understanding the history of that.
Without understanding the history. Okay. And so that is the difference between understanding and appropriation, or, cultural understanding and respect, is educating yourself about the culture, honoring their traditions, and who they are and what they do.
Right. And
Not,
like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, not wearing things like, once upon a time we all dressed up as, as cowboys and Indians for Halloween, and that is a no now. I did it, in my 20s, and so change of perspective, change of understanding.
Also, change of the receivership of information. When we grew up, not an excuse, listen, it's not, but also, like, perspective is important. When we grew up, there were 3 channels that had news. They all reported the same shit about the same people in the same way. There was no progressive versus what. No, there was none of that.
Everyone heard the same thing.
Everybody heard the same thing. And so when the news, the place that you're supposed to trust to get information, is feeding this to society, then society is going to believe what the news is telling them is happening. And so who is the news run by? Right? Rich white people. It's the whole cycle. Now we have more access to more people's perspectives to understand that those rich white people were just really persuading us to believe a certain thing. They were indoctrinating us into their system, and it worked. And they were separating us through that source, that media source. They were even turning people in their own communities against each other with this disinformation, because those communities also got the same fucking news that we got.
Right.
So it's perspective. But also, we can say, we did those things. We understand that they were wrong. We would never do them had we understood it from a different perspective. And I wish we had been more educated in those facts and in how other people feel, because we never also got anybody's perspective outside of white people's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So how was I to know, as a white person who's only getting this white people perspective, that I've offended somebody by wearing this outfit that I didn't even realize was a costume, because this is the media that's been fed to me. I thought this was real,
accepted.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not. Yeah. Pocahontas, the story of Pocahontas,
Not real.
whitewashed,
Not
totally
that.
whitewashed. She was taken, and she was a child, and she was forced into marriage with this white man. Like, there's such a different story.
It's not romantic. Yeah. It's not romantic.
And the same thing goes with religion, since that's really the topic today. The same thing about religion is, it's like you get fed this perspective, and that's what you believe until you see another perspective, until you understand another perspective.
I grew up in the church. I mean,
I did too.
Baptist or Methodist, Mormon Methodist, Baptist, and then even in high school, I for a period of time did church on my own. I found a community of people and friends, and it was amazing. I came to a lot of realizations in my life. I'm not saying, but also as I got older and began, my journey, it's great base for faith and but also knowing that learning about other religions and understanding, and also, again, it's like, we're all kind of saying the same thing here, but in your language, your understanding, why do we hate each other for it when we're all, at the core, just having faith and following, you know, what
Yeah.
we deem as the best thing in life to do.
And I don't think
Um,
Christians do that anymore.
I think that and that's, I think there are a lot of you know, I would say that you know, my parents, friends that I know that are still very, you know, that they kind of see some of this ultra conservative Christian, like ultra, not just conservative, you know, Southern Baptist Christian, yeah, like, which can go hand in hand, but there are still, you know,
Why is religion so conservative? Why is religion based around Jesus Christ so conservative? Jesus Christ was a hippie.
or that there's again that there's a ghost old man in the sky, that, you know, white man in the sky that is
He's
looking
not white.
over and ready to smite us, you know, because
Y'all think what you want. Jesus, whomever he was, and whatever his importance level was on this earth, was not white. Was not white. Mm-mm. Name me one more. Name me one white man you know named Jesus. First of all, I'll wait. You don't. Okay. That's just first of all, and second of all, the just the region alone is an incorrect region for where white people would be found. Was
that's
he
just the geography of
was
it
he
all.
a was he a time traveling baby? Was he a teleport baby? Like
Well, he
what?
was the Immaculate Conception, so what,
He's
maybe
an immaculate
maybe
conception baby. Maybe they put a white baby inside it.
maybe maybe God is
They
white.
didn't.
He did.
That didn't happen.
um if you believe or whatever you call your, you know, what you believe in, and even it says, if God made human in his image, then we are all
In his
images
image.
of him.
Right. Her. Oh, you know what that means. You know what that means. It means it's 420 on the West Coast.
So stop hating each other for for
Say
looking
stop
different than
and
you.
smoke a blunt. That's what I thought you were going
Yeah.
to say.
And smoke a blunt. Smoke a blunt and stop hating people that don't look like you.
You know, I love the fact that they don't look like you. How boring. How boring y'all are who want how like the people you know what, I'm not talking to our audience, obviously. We're talking to people who think this way, who will probably never listen to this podcast, but like, how boring of you to only want one race and one religion. Ew, it sounds boring to me. It sounds uncultured to me. It sounds
I
yicky.
don't understand, yeah, why so protective, or why sit in this I'm better than everybody else, you know, mentality at this time in our
It's not like we
timeline.
haven't like it's not like we haven't seen the what that causes. It's not like we you know, it's obvious what that causes. Like,
It's just the adage, the you know, those that don't remember history are doomed to repeat it, or what, history isn't taught,
and
you're doomed
look
to
at
repeat
us.
it.
Look
Look
at
at it.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
And look at us.
Same cycle, but let's break out. I mean, it's try, you know, we're trying to
Kelly
break out of
said
the
her
cycle.
daughter's vision of God was a Dumbledore looking guy because of
Yeah, yeah. The Far Side
Dumbledore.
comics. I mean, I love the, you know, but
I love
again,
it.
I, you know,
Me too. I thought Jesus looked like, you know, white hippie guy. You guys haven't
mhm.
seen Religulous. I'm not, you know, I used to be a bigger fan of Bill Maher, but I feel like the older he gets, anyways, who cares? But that documentary is actually quite interesting and it holds. So I definitely recommend it. But there's all kind, I mean, there's just all kinds of evidence that this story was taken from somebody else's story, and like a couple of key, like factors were changed. there's at least 3 immaculate conception stories in different religions. At least there's probably more than that, but at least off the top of my head, I think I can think of like there's 3. But like seriously, you guys, anyways. So we want to talk about this because, like I said, those 2 comments were made. First of all, nobody is stopping Christians from celebrating their holidays. It's actually quite the other way around, quite often. And then also, what if we like if we had freedom of religion in this country, then people would be, off on their holiday, paid time off on their holiday that they celebrate. The maybe I mean, would we still be run on capitalism? If we were still a capitalist society, then the show must go on with people who do not celebrate this holiday, right? We're not just going to shut the whole shit down. The grocery store is still open on Thanksgiving because not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is actually a representation for some people of a quite deliberate and quite murderous uh, past.
Yeah, dramatic past.
Dramatic genocide of their ancestors. So why would I celebrate a holiday, for example, when I'm even lucky to be here? Because people who look like me, white people, try to eradicate an entire race of people, an entire culture of people,
Yeah.
because they got here first.
Because oh, you mean the white people that got here first?
No, because the natives were here first, and
they were
and the
mad
white
that they
people,
got.
they were mad that they got here first. They were born here, bitch. They were born here.
Okay, sorry. Laughter in the face of uncomfortability.
It's a must. It's a must. And Easter is a pagan holiday that represents fertility, and it's really like stolen by Christians.
Like literally,
Yeah,
just they changed the
you
O
have
to an
something on that,
A.
right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Esther, Oestre, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, is the pagan fertility goddess of humans and crops. The traditional colors of the festival are green, yellow, and purple. The symbols are used are hares and eggs, representing fertility, because we all know that bunnies breed like rabbits.
Like bunnies. That's real
And
life, y'all.
representing fertility and new life. Um, and so again, we've taken that. Christianity has taken that and said no pagans.
Persecuted pagans, persecuted Wiccans, persecuted witches for using stones and pagan traditions that were stolen. Because
and nature, and representing, using again, connections to nature. I think that that's another thing to be brought in. We need to get connected back to nature.
oh my god, so
The
badly.
and I actually saw a TikTok where the teacher was like, the when I'm a teacher of young kids, and he's like, and when I take the kids out into nature, he's like, the kids that are problems in the classroom become the leaders. And he's like, not just, leader like bullies, but like, want to be out there using their and he's got video of it going along with, these kids just
They thrive.
having, they being confident and not being stuck at a desk and tested and tested and tested and tested and tested and sitting in front of a screen, and we all do it.
It's
I'm
anxiety inducing, though. Like,
And yeah, and then I'm so thankful, and I'm ready for the summer, to take advantage again of just being outside, and you and I talking about our, like we're gonna plan that, to work, hike and then work, or just incorporate it heavily into, and make sure that we are,
right.
you know living our lifestyle or promoting a cannabinoid lifestyle, but then all we do is sit in front of a computer and talk to people on the
And
phone.
put
And
social media, like it's crazy. It's
yeah, I'm
crazy.
like, I'm like, can we start
It was
organizing like
like
hikes? You
mid
want to go on a hike
60s.
and talk about this product?
Yeah,
You
like
want
we
to
were
go?
like mid 60s today. It was so beautiful outside. It's so beautiful outside. It's like in the 70s in Castle Rock. It's so beautiful outside. I've been dying for it. I'm ready for it. We went to that Castle Rock hike, the rock hike. It was really cool and simple and beautiful and like really something that like you and I could do for our morning meetings when you're in town. Like we could get up, get put on our stuff, put the dogs on leash, and like have an agenda and just go and like talk about those things, maybe report it or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
important
That would
parts.
be
But yeah,
right.
like to get out and do those things. I want talking about bunnies and their fertility. Castle Rock has so many rabbits. I have driven on the highway around like just like a center median of grass where there's just like highway just all around it, just all around there, just a center median of grass full of rabbits out there. And I know it's about to get worse because it's spring right now. So they just had all their babies. They're probably just feeding them and nursing them and all that stuff. They're gonna be out in the yard. There's already so much rabbit shit. They're just these little tiny turds and they turn into dirt, but whatever. Uh, there's so many little tiny rabbit shit all in the yard
No, Lady
already.
will probably come eat it. Lady will. We've been taking walks, and there have been herds migrating through, or just living, and so there's deer poop everywhere and elk poop or whatever the it is. But she's been finding the little piles of them in the snow, and before
Ew.
she does listen. Like if I can catch her before she can get to it, she will deter away from it. So I am thankful for that. But there have been a couple times where I was like, just wasn't quick enough, and she's like,
Yeah,
but
shit.
so gross.
That's so gross. Can I ask you a
Blossom
question? You
likes the
might,
cat poop, so
you know, you might know the answer to this question, or somebody might. Listen, I saw something on the side of the road the other day that looked like a donkey deer. It looked like
mule
looked like
deer.
a
Yeah,
it looked like a donkey and a deer with like a turtleneck on. It had like a fur neck. What the fuck is that?
I mean, mule deers are the ones that have like the big ears. I don't know
Oh, I
about
think it might have had. Well, it just had like fur on its neck. It
it was
had
just puff. Yeah.
yeah, and then I mean it had fur everywhere, but it had like curly fur on it. It looked like it had like a little turtleneck on. And I was like, is that a fucking caribou? No, those don't live out here. Like I was like, what the fuck is that animal?
No, but I know what you're talking about. Kind of that like, or yeah, like
It looks like a donkey fucked a deer. It's like looks like a donkey fucked a deer
yes,
and an
yes.
alpaca and an alpaca because the fur on the neck, right? Is it an alpaca?
Maybe it
It's
was a
like a
boy. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or yes, or llama. Llamas have that too.
llama, maybe. Yeah,
Maybe.
but not with a long. It didn't have a long neck, so it wasn't a llama. It was not a llama. It did look like that llama off of that Disney cartoon though. It kind of that I mean, but in tan colors. But it kind of looks stupid like that. Like looked like a stupid animal on the side of the road eating grass.
Oh, maybe it was an angle too. Maybe no,
There were
because
like three
the
of them.
wind was
There
like
were three of them. I was like looking. I was like, what is that? What are those crazy ass animals?
there's a bunch
Um,
of wild turkeys running around here. I've seen them a few times. It's funny.
this is a Monday ass show, everybody. And we really did want to just like touch on this religion conversation, but really just respect other people's shit. Like just don't worry about what other people are doing that does not directly affect you in any way, shape, or form. Like it's not affecting your health, it's not affecting your well-being in any way, shape, or form. It's not affecting you. If it's affecting your mental health, get a therapist because it's not about you. It's really not about you. And that guy that said, "Can we still say Happy Easter?" All I could think that's like literally the first words out of my mouth were Jesus Christ, because all I could think was like nobody's ever told you, white man, that you can't celebrate your religion. Nobody's ever. You made that up. Like, y'all made that shit up.
Yeah, the whole we're not taking Christ out of anything. We're just saying,
Nobody
you know,
said it.
you can do your
We're
Christ
saying
thing, but we're also going to do everyone else's thing.
you do you, and I'm gonna do me. That's what we
Right.
saying. That's it. We
Right.
want you to do you. If that makes
Yes,
you happy and
but
thrive, then do it.
take the correct lessons of
Please.
uh,
Like, don't sell
the
your daughters.
um don't pick and choose which parts of the religion or the Bible you're going to adhere to and not.
Right. Right. If
Um,
you're gonna adhere to any parts of the Bible, then you gotta stop wearing cotton and eating meat, and you have to put your
the
daughters up for
blends, you
auction,
can't use
or the
blends.
blends. Yeah, the blends. Then and you gotta put your daughters up for auction. Uh, you know, sell them to the highest bidder. Honestly, when I said that, don't sell your daughters, I meant that literally, but I also mean that figuratively. Don't sell your daughters out. Please let your children be human. Please let your daughters and your sons have human, real emotions about like let your daughters be mouthy and strong, and let your sons cry and be vulnerable, because
Yeah,
those are all human emotions that all humans are allowed to have, and
yep.
it actually makes our lives better.
It does. It shows we are all human. We are all going through similar things. I mean, I think that too, you know, social media does connect us. We connect with people that are going through the same things of us that we may never ever meet in our life. Yeah, we might chat through, you know, online, but some of it is just, oh my gosh, they are they living my life? Yes, they are. They're just, you know, we're connected, y'all.
Right. We're connected.
Um,
We're connected.
and so let's do, you know, let's breathe goodness into all of us, you know. We all need to be uplifted. We all go through, you know, again, I'm my age and just realizing that how depression affects me differently than it you know, affects other people close to me, you know,
Yeah,
my
it's not
behaviors when it's hitting me, you
exactly.
know, and what brings it on, and being able to acknowledge it. And so
And being
um
able to say, yeah, it being able to acknowledge it for yourself, but others too, for the people around you who care about you. Like being
yeah,
able to say, like, I need help. I can't do this today. Right? It's
yeah,
just about that. And there's nothing wrong with it, with taking a break. Sometimes taking a break is absolutely what's necessary for your mind and your body.
yes, we are
Um,
not machines.
not at all. Not at
Machines
all.
break down too, even if you know, even if we were, machines break down too.
I had to put
um
WD-40 on a cooler today, y'all. On a cooler. On a cooler. Okay, so everything breaks, even tacos break, and they're still delicious.
yep, yep.
Hmm. This show today has been brought to you by CQ LLC, a cannabis education and consulting company. It's brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzer. Queen Kitty Seltzer is a low dose CBD seltzer that tastes like water, because that's what water's supposed to taste like. Hashtag pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. Check out our website, www.queenkittyseltzer.com, for merchandise and to order cans of Queen Kitty Seltzer. And obviously, ourselves, the Cannabis Closet podcast brings you all of this great information every Monday and Wednesday at 4:20 Mountain Standard Time. That's 5:20 Central, 6:20 on the East Coast, and 3:20 on the West Coast. We celebrate 4:20 with the West Coast every Monday and Wednesday. So join us here for whatever the topic's going to be next time. You can also join us on Discord. You can find all of our links, solo.to/cannabis closet 420. Find all of our links and ways to connect with us, and we can't wait to see you there. Um, we have some upcoming events. So we're
Now
going
these are
to
all
be,
personal.
huh?
I
They're
said these
kind
are
of
all
personal,
personal. There's some head
but
work. Yeah, there's
like
some work thrown in there.
there's some people that are going to be out and about. So on 419 and 420, we are going to be in Denver. On 419, we'll be at Red Rocks. If you're at that Red Rocks show, find us, come holla at us, and don't be creepy. listen, don't be creepy. I'm in a new stage and era of my life. If you're creepy, I'm gonna tell you you're creepy. We're gonna leave it at that and have a good day. But we love you guys. So come see us at Red Rocks. And then also on 420, we're probably going to be downtown, like near the Civic Center. There's some event going on down there. So if you're out and about in Denver, go check that out. On April 30th, we're going to be in St. Louis seeing Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Also, Ludacris is going to be there. And I always neglect to say that, but I actually love Ludacris. And that's the reason I bought the tickets. And so that means on May 1st, we're going to be in St. Louis. Oh, maybe we can get Christina live. And we'll talk to her and see if she's going to be around. We'll see what's happening.
I mean, maybe if we could get a panel, if Brendan can sit down with us, or Brennan and
yes,
and whomever else would like to come out and discuss. That, I mean, would be great. We can start. We're talking about it now. We're gonna put it out there. Let's prepare for that.
That's like right around the corner.
It is around the corner. God, I gotta
so fast this year. It gets faster as you get older, you guys. I can't explain it. The world's spinning faster. 24 hours is a shorter time. I don't know. I don't get it. Also, on May 11th, we're going to be doing an event with the Sesh Connection. So stay tuned for more information about that.
May 1st. While we're in St. Louis, we will also be picking up our product.
Oh yeah, we're picking up our product, and we're doing we're doing a launch party for our new flavor on June 15th, and we will announce all of the details as we go forward. We haven't we're still putting some of the details together. So June 15th, mark your calendars. There's going to be an event in Denver for our launch party of our new flavor. And if you go to our Queen Kitty page, and you can guess the flavor on one of our posts. Just go to one of our posts, comment what the flavor is you think it's going to be, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a 4-pack of all of the flavors. It's gonna be exciting. Super excited.
Super exciting.
How would you guys feel also in the audience? Just let us know in the comments, or you can send us a DM or whatever. We have some Megatoke products to auction off, and so we just want to know if that would be something that was interesting to you guys. Those things normally go for between, I would say, depending on the product, I would say somewhere between $3.99 when they're not on sale. When they are on sale, I say $150. And then is the lowest I've seen, and then all the way up to $1,000. Again, some of these products go on sale and they get like half off or whatever, but the highest prices for a Megatoke XL was like $999, and they're like $500 on sale or something like that. So that's something that you guys think is interesting. Just send something to DM and say, yeah, that's something I would definitely put, $25 or $50 into an auction to see if I could win that. And so, yeah, we're thinking about it and just wanted to get y'all's opinion on it.
I want to figure out how, because I know that, again, there's certain words you can't say. You can't say.
Yeah, we have to be careful about
the R word. You can't say the. They don't want you to prosper off of this, and I think too it has something to do with like a. I don't know if it's like a gambling regulation. Yeah, whatever. Licensing and bullshit. Anyway.
So you brought some would you rather questions to the table today.
Yeah, by Googling religious would you rathers. I did make up the first two, and then the other ones are ones that I actually did pull from the website, so which I thought were interesting. None of them are gross this week, y'all, unless you find
I was not
biblical references to. I know. Someone might find these offensive.
That's okay with us.
So my biblical ones that I made up would you rather witness the burning bush or Moses parting the Red Sea?
I would want to see the parting of the Red Sea.
I would too. I would too.
Like I burn bush every day, so we can get high
And
later. Like
yeah, again,
Jesus
yeah,
told us
you know
for
what?
sure.
Every day we are connecting and
If
speaking
I saw
with
somebody
our.
walk into the ocean and just the ocean just moves out of their
Or
way,
maybe it should be, would you rather see Jesus walk on water or Moses parting the Red Sea? Because those are two.
how far is he walking? Because I still say the sea. I still
Uh,
say part of the sea.
yeah.
Could they do a joint act where Moses parts the sea and Jesus walks on top of the toppest wave? Because that I would pay a good chunk of money to see that.
I'm sure they could do it in Vegas.
They could get away with it in a lot more places than Vegas.
Just
You
saying,
see that, man?
be the perfect spot.
I'm still saying part of the sea though. That part of the sea shit, that's crazy, right? And then like when he parts the sea, I imagine you could see like all of the sea creatures that live in those parts.
I don't. Right.
You know what I'm
Can
saying?
you imagine being a? Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But then
That's
would
what.
it
That's what.
kill? Would they jump out?
Right. Right. Do
That'd
they
be
stay in the water? Do
scary
they
for
keep
the animals.
trying to swim? Yeah. Scary for the people also that are walking through that. To
I
got
know because I don't
got
know if I could walk in
sea creatures falling on you.
water like this just all around you.
Yeah, that's a whole
The
nother.
way you feel about water, I feel like that's a no go. You'd be like, I'm going to take the boat. I'll see you on the other side, Moses. I feel like that would be, and I would be like, let's do this. I might drown, but here we go. I'll be like, I take
Here
my
we go.
chances. I could swim. Okay, what's the next one?
We'll go on to the other ones. The other one was just silly. Would you rather be able to see the future or know the answer to all of the questions?
Second.
See the future or know all of the answers?
I'd get attached to the future, and I currently think that you can change your future every day.
Gotta live in the know.
So I would want to know things. I want to know things. I want to know things in life anyway. You know, we've talked about this, how I'm just super curious about how other people experience life. So if somebody says this is going to be too much information, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like I want to hear it. I want to hear all of the too much of the information. So I'm gonna say that one. I'm gonna say that one. Okay.
Do you
What is your
remember
answer?
all the answers? I don't know. I'm gonna go with.
I feel like I mean, I feel like there are people that have like a brain like that. But here's the
Yeah,
question. If I
I
know all
know.
the answers to all of the questions, if I know all the answers to all of the questions, my brain works in that way, in that computing way. Am I going to have a difficult time with the social interactions of life? Because I feel like society looks down on those individuals who know too much.
Right. Yes.
But I
Because
think the
they don't
reason
know
they look
enough,
down,
because it's a
right,
I don't,
it's a
yeah.
jealousy thing. It's jealousy. It's because I don't know enough, so now I'm gonna make
No,
make
I'm
you feel
inferior to
as
you.
bad as
Yeah.
you can about who you are. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Make you feel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What's the next?
All right.
We're doing one more?
Let's see. I've got two, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be able to read people's minds? We've done this one, we've done something like that. Or be able to control people's emotions?
Second one. Not in a way like I want, thank you. Not in a way that I want you to feel like, but in a way that I want you to be like, and myself too. Could I control my own emotions?
There
In a
was one
way,
like that where it was like, where you can control yours or others. Like it would.
right. Um, in a way that like when we're like, I don't want to control the way you feel about a situation, but I want to control the way you express, not you, but like generally people,
Right. If you had this power.
how you're feeling. If I had this power, that's the thing I would want to control. The way that we emote as human beings and the way Yeah, like not the feeling itself. I want genuine feelings of people, but I would want to control the expression of that.
Like you say something to them and it makes them feel, or it gives them the freedom to,
Like if you
or
like if somebody were to say, I feel hurt by something that you did, right? But instead of saying that, they are like, wow, yeah, you yell it. So to me, I would want to say, I want you to tell me how you're feeling, but I want you to tell me without cussing at me, without screaming at me, without losing control of your own bodily functions, honestly, at me. And because I feel like a lot of humans do that, I feel like when we see, I'm going to say this, I'm not trying to be biased in any means. And I know we talk about this a lot, and we talk about men a lot, but I see it a lot in men, in the way that men emote their anger or any of their emotions, not like happy emotions. Um, and I think that's because we don't allow them as children to be vulnerable and cry. And so then when they're
or
adults, they don't
not
know.
be the best.
Right. And so as that boy child is growing into a bigger boy child, he doesn't know how to express his anger in any way, or his sadness, or his inconvenience, or anything in any other way other than like pure outbursts of
Outburst, right?
yeah, yeah.
That
So
then get
that's what I would want
coddled
to
or
control.
consoled. That then,
Right,
and
right. Well, boys will be
um
boys.
and
I don't want to read
um
people's minds because I think I would get my feelings hurt.
I need to be able to have an on-off switch either way.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree.
Like, only if you want to. Um, but yeah, I think I would also go with emotions, the controlled emotions.
Yeah,
Um,
like just like the expression of emotion would be the one thing that I would want to control, not the emotion itself. Like y'all, seriously, we talk about this stuff all the time. And a part of this I have to give credit is I'm reading this book Untamed, and I'm really being like, yes, oh my God, yes, like to these ideas where we were just kind of indoctrinated into how to be a girl or a woman or a boy or a man. We were indoctrinated into what those things mean, and we have to really unindoctrinate ourselves. And part of that is just allowing yourself to feel your real emotions, because sometimes, in the name of strength, in the name of not being an emotional woman, in the name of not being an emotional man, you don't release the emotion properly. And then it just builds into this thing that is honestly a hindrance. It's
mhm.
hindering you from being able to move forward past that thing. You've got to
Yep.
be able to have the emotion and feel the things about it so that you can figure it out and move past it.
Work
It's
through
really
it.
important.
Understand why you feel it. Oh, I'm angry.
Talk to yourself.
It's usually, I know when I have outbursts and why, like after I've done it,
Yeah,
like, fuck, I tried to do better about that, but fuck, that one got
yeah.
me,
We have to.
and then we move forward. You got to move
We
forward.
we have to start talking. This is my therapist talking, but we have to start talking to our child selves, because that's where your trauma is. That's where everything, the way that you express your emotions, the way that you feel things, the way all of that is from something you experienced in your childhood that you may or may not remember. You may or may not know what that thing was, what that person who said something that person who meant something to you said something that fucked you up a little bit, right? So there's that thing. And we have to, when we're feeling that emotion, say, hey, what is this about? Why do you feel this way about this? Why
Hmm.
do you feel, and talk to yourself, like have a real conversation with yourself. I do it in the mirror all the time. I do it all the time. And I'm an only child too, so it's like super easy for me. I've been talking to myself since day one, straight up.
Let's see. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't, but I was the youngest, and so I had my own world, like that, my family didn't understand. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So But love yourself is the point that we're trying to always make to you guys, because we love you and we want you to have more happy days than sad days. That's what our goal is. So make sure that you love yourself and take care of yourself. Put your mask on before assisting others.
Yes,
it's important.
Yes. Cultivate love. Bring it to you. You have to, you know that you deserve it.
You do. God, you do so much. You deserve to be loved.
Yep. And we're here to send you love if you ever feel you are without. So, because sometimes we need it too. So send it back. Send it back.
Send it back. Send it back. And
we love you guys.
Stay lifted and gifted.
Stay lifted and gifted.
And we're going to see you on Wednesday. We're going to have a brand new show for you.
Woo woo.
Woo woo. We love you guys. Woo woo woo. We'll catch you guys. We're not doing a Discord tonight because I have dinner plans with a friend. And we love you guys. We'll see you Wednesday, 4:20 Mountain Standard Time. Tell your friends, share, like, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time.